Kinross was an important staging post on the old Great North Road, and a number of inns were therefore built. William Adam, founder of the country's most famous and respected architectural dynasty, also lived locally, as indeed today do his descendants. Robert Adam was MP in 1768, and his work can be seen in the old county building. William Adam built Blair Adam House, which after the disastrous speculative failure of the Adelphi in London was never properly completed. The estate of Blair Adam can be viewed from the Parranwell Bridge, rebuilt by Adam on the site of a failed attempt in 1565 to seize Mary Queen of Scot, who was indeed only 2 years later imprisoned at Loch Leven Castle. She suffered a miscarriage on the island and was forced to abdicate. Mary escaped only after Daft Willie stole the keys from his uncle, Sir William Douglas, and locked him in the castle in the May of the following year. She fled to England, only to be kept under house arrest for nearly 20 years until her execution in 1587. Her son, James VI of Scotland, did however inherit the English crown in 1603. Incredibly, Mary was only 1 week old when she succeeded to the Scottish throne, and only 6 when she married the French Dauphin, later arriving in Scotland a widow at only 19 years of age. Mary was crowned monarch of Scotland for only 7 years, yet remains one of the greatest names in the country's history. However, there is a final twist in her story. Back in 1830, a small coffin was found hidden in the royal apartments of Edinburgh Castle, with a golden shroud embroidered with the initial J, and within it the remains of a child. Rumours that Mary had lost her son James had always been rife, and some feel the son of the Earl and Countess of Mar was substituted for the future monarch, as they were brought up together and resembled each other greatly, as contemporary portraits confirm. The Perthshire Tourist Information Centre is based a little out of town at the motorway service area off the M90, just across the road from the entrance to the Grouse and Claret. Here the helpful local staff can further advise on the area and even, as you know, arrange accommodation. A well-stocked shop offers a wide range of maps and books on the area. The Royal Society for the Protection of Birds Vane Farm Nature Reserve is on the south shore of Loch Leven, reached as you head south from Kinross, part of a worthwhile detour around the loch. The area is famous for the numerous visiting geese in autumn and winter, when up to 20,000 pink-footed geese are to be seen and up to 14 species of duck. This wet grassland is also home to nesting redshanks, snipe and lapwings in the spring and summer. The managed farmland also has skylarks, linnets and partridges, and the woodland is home to woodpeckers, tree pipits and spotted flycatchers. High in the sky you may see birds of prey such as buzzards, peregrines, kestrels and sparrowhawks. A gift shop and tea room incorporating a viewing area with telescopes is also on site. The road runs above the loch and reaches Scotland Well, which was once famed for its curative waters, and the medieval field system of crooked rigs is still visible around the village. Then on to another village, Kinneswood, famed for the production of vellum in the 18th century and home of the poet Bruce. Leaving the village, Burleigh Castle is situated right next to the road, which almost passes through the middle of it. Early 16th century, it was built for Sir James Balfour, who was Lord President in 1567 and probably involved in the murder of Lord Darnley, and certainly held this high office at the same time as Mary's imprisonment nearby. Return into Milnathort and then head north, following the signs to Glenfarg. And after the village, you enter the high-sided steep glen, once the main road between Edinburgh and Perth. For an interesting and very short detour, take the road up the hill next to the Bean Inn, which rises up into open moorland to the romantic and historic remains of Balverde Castle, in the care of Historic Scotland. Late 15th century, with walls up to 8 feet thick, this was the home of the Murrays, and indeed connects the families of the Earls of Mansfield and Dukes of Atholl, at one time being known as the Palace of Balverde. Heading north to the city of Perth, you'll see the signpost for Elcho Castle. Nearby, in the sleepy hamlet of Rind, a small estate village, is one of the few places you will find a very early phone box. The stone-coloured concrete K3, dating from 1929, still in full working order, which was superseded in 1936 with the familiar red kiosk. Elcho is idyllically situated on the southern banks of the Tay, in a quiet agricultural backwater, approached along a few miles of single-track road which lead through a working farmsteading to this handsome 16th century fortified mansion, with rooftop battlements affording amazing views over the Tay to Canoe Hill. A small gift shop, rather surprisingly, is on site, and the property is cared for by Historic Scotland.